How does a jury decide on a criminal trial verdict? Have you ever wondered how a jury comes to a decision in a criminal trial? It is a fascinating process that involves careful consideration and teamwork. Let's break it down step by step. The journey begins after both the prosecution and the defense have presented their cases. This includes witness testimony and various pieces of evidence. Once both sides have made their arguments, they move on to the closing arguments. Here, the prosecution summarizes the evidence and explains why the jury should find the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense, on the other hand, points out any weaknesses or inconsistencies in the prosecution's case, arguing for the defendant's innocence or at least reasonable doubt about guilt. Sometimes, the prosecution may offer a brief rebuttal to address the defense's points. This part is essential as it sets the stage for what the jury will think about during deliberations. After closing arguments, the judge steps in to provide the jury with instructions. These instructions outline the relevant laws and legal definitions they need to consider. The judge emphasizes that the standard of proof is high. The jury must be convinced of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. This guidance is crucial as it helps jurors apply the law to the facts they have heard. Next, the jury goes to a private room to deliberate. During this time, they review the evidence and discuss the credibility of the witnesses. They also apply the judge's instructions to the facts of the case. The goal is to reach a unanimous decision, meaning all jurors must agree on whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty of the charges. If they cannot reach an agreement, it could lead to a hung jury, which may result in a mistrial. Throughout the deliberation process, jurors are kept away from outside influences. They can only communicate with the judge through written questions if they need clarification on legal matters. The defense does not have any direct influence over these discussions, which can create a tense atmosphere for the defendant. Once the jury reaches a verdict, they return to the courtroom to announce it. The verdict will either be guilty or not guilty. A not guilty verdict means the defendant is acquitted and can leave freely. A guilty verdict leads to sentencing, which may happen immediately or at a later date. From the perspective of criminal defense, understanding this process is vital. Defense attorneys aim to create reasonable doubt during the trial and highlight any weaknesses in the prosecution's case during their closing arguments. They also work closely with the judge to ensure the jury receives proper instructions on the law. Preparing the defendant for the uncertainty of jury deliberations and the final verdict is a key part of their strategy. If the defendant is convicted, the defense counsel will discuss options for appeal or other post-trial remedies. In essence, the jury's decision is based on a careful review of all evidence and legal guidance, requiring unanimous agreement to convict. The defense plays a significant role in challenging the prosecution's case and safeguarding the defendant's rights throughout the trial.